To be present, we must be intentional, and to bear fruit, we must feed the soul. You're listening to Pause, Sip, and Ponder. Hey Ponders, welcome back to another episode of Pause, Sip, and Ponder. Thank you so much for joining me here in this new space in the Pause, Sip, and Ponder headquarters. I'm just kidding. It's just my new studio. Actually, it's not just my new studio. It's a big deal to me, actually. And now just saying that out loud, I'm super grateful for this space, which I will talk more about. But as you can see, there's still some unfinished stuff. I do have, stuff for my art, which I think is very essential. Just having a place for everything is a big deal. I do plan on having a wall of art, maybe Polaroids that I have of all my adventures, and my friend Bailey gave me the idea of putting some maps to fill the wall, but we'll see. We're testing it out, just like how we're testing out talking to a camera, and just this new setup. These past episodes, especially last year, you would hear my voice, but I didn't have a camera, and so finally, we're breaking the mold and we're getting out of our comfort zone and we're breaking through the camera shyness. Although I'm used to it with friends, it's totally different one-on-one. But anyone who's new here, thank you so much for joining me. This is a podcast where we talk about everything and anything in the aim to give you some inspiration, some hope, some encouragement. And it's really a podcast of storytelling, and hopefully it will engage you guys into more deeper and intimate and vulnerable conversations that will lead to, sharing your story and remembering and valuing your story and how important it can be to the community that surrounds you or the person next to you, anyone. I feel like everyone has a story to tell, and it can definitely bring light to this world. Anyways, it's very hot in here. So we're going to try to get through this. Today in this podcast, I'm going to show you some of the products that I have on my sticker business, which I recently launched. It's been some weeks now since I've done that, and I guess I'll give some background of how it began. Actually, for a while, I think ever since I was little, I always felt like I was destined to have something of my own, whether it was like a business, or I had no idea what that would even look like. And I think that has come into different forms as I get older. It became, my podcast, it became, my art here and there, or, different things in my life I always try to be consistent in, or just in the work that I'm doing. And so over time, it's evolved, it's changed. Of course, you have to go through moments of like what fits for me, what's realistic for me. And unfortunately, you do have to go through those moments. Otherwise, you'll never really figure out who you are, not only as an artist, but as an individual. If you aren't being tugged or pressured here and there, you won't really know your full potential. This art journey, this art dream that I had of becoming, an artist, not necessarily full-time, although I'm sure a lot of us artists do desire that. But when you get older, like, you start to get hit with the reality of life and how there are just certain things that, beggars can't be choosers, and you can really try your best to get to a place where you want to be, but you do have to work with what you have. And I think that's the beauty in it, finding out what works for you, and working and utilizing what you have in your life and what you can, because who's to say where you are is going to be where you are for the rest of your life? I don't think that's the case, but we can go through moments of that. And I definitely went through that, during COVID. I really rediscovered, like, I am not an artist, and I am an artist, but I'm not defined by how perfect it can be, or the amount of art that I produce, because art is subjective. And, I had to give myself grace and kind of forgive myself one moment, because, I was so hard on myself for not meeting the expectations that I thought people had of me in certain areas in life. It's not just art, but like I'm being constantly tugged left and right with so many expectations, even expectations that I put on myself. And with that all to say, me deciding to launch my business took a while, but I think it happened in the most perfect timing, because I learned so much things prior to this launch. I had to go through life. I had to figure out, what ideal life I wanted to live and test things out. I had to go through failure to figure that out. So yeah, now we're here. Even though at times I may feel like, oh, I probably delayed the process. I think timing, the things that we go through life, everything happens for a reason at the most perfect timing. And we can't go back. So the only thing we could do is move forward. And so this launch has been so significant for me, because it's helped me break out of my comfort zone. It's helped me kind of gain more confidence in myself, and, just manifesting and saying every day, I will do it. I will do it. Despite so much happening around me, I was so determined to do it. And I think what's helped me a lot is not focusing so much on the outcome, but focusing on the process, focusing on the learning that I would later develop, that I would go into, and I learned a lot. There would be days of learning how to make stickers and I wanted to give up. I would go to sleep at like 3 a.m. and I would be like, is this worth it? And we go through moments like that, not just with art, but like in any area of our life. You're like, I'm going through this. Is it really worth it? Like, I could literally just drop everything right now if I could. And I think, that's the beauty in it. Like, we do have the option to give up, but with our circumstances, the big important question is, what are you going to do with it? So I continued, I endured, I resisted giving up, and, I don't regret it. I don't regret, staying up 3 a.m. because I had to, and I'm glad it worked out. So yeah, I launched it a few weeks ago. This business or these products really focus on what Positive and Ponder is all about. It's about storytelling. It shares my story of being, someone who has such a passion for vulnerability and living an intentional life, and living, a life that helps others and where we can grow together. And I think, and I'm so grateful, within these 3 years of this podcast, I think I've done a pretty good job in sharing that message. And hopefully you were able to kind of feel that. Hopefully Positive and Ponder has been a comfort room for you, like a safe place for you. I've definitely been affirmed that during COVID, especially, like reconnecting with people, and people just saying, even strangers saying like, hey, like, I feel really safe with you. Like, I could tell you everything. And actually, that's probably the best compliment I could ever ask, or I could ever get or receive, because, growing up, that's all I wanted for other people, because at times we may not feel that for ourselves, and we may be working so hard to, just make people feel comfortable and get out our way for people. But for people to affirm to you, things like that, it's just no better feeling. It's nothing, there's no material thing or extravagant or luxury in this world that can beat the feeling of just helping people feel loved, and being affirmed with that is just awesome. But anyways, we're gonna move on into the products that I have. I'm not gonna do all of them because there are a few, there are many, so go ahead and check that out on posiponder.com/shop. And bear with me, I'm still getting used to this recording thing, so if I just go off tangents, just please excuse me. First I want to point out I have this mic, my blue trusty mic. Yes, it's an older brand. Usually it's like a starter pack for like gamers, but this blue microphone has been with me since the beginning. I only really pull out my professional mics when I have like guests and stuff, and it's already too much for that. So yeah, we're doing a lot today, so we're gonna be easy on ourselves. All right. So my first sticker I wanted to share, and these are stickers that I've picked out because I really love them. They're my favorite ones, and not just the details or like the art themselves. It's just like the meaning behind it I resonate every day with, and hopefully you guys can resonate with them as well. So the first one is the empath. I'm pretty sure this will come out like backwards on the camera, but this empath sticker, I know it's pretty simple. This is probably one of the most simple designs that I've come up with, but if you're not watching the video, it's the word empath, and then there's two hearts with strings connected to one another. And this is something that I've discovered during COVID. I wasn't really sure. Like, I would see in people's bios, like, I'm an empath, and like I guess I just saw it as you're able to like relate with one another, with other people, like you can feel people's emotions and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely an empath. But to find out deeper of what it means to be an empath and what an empath goes through on the daily was just eye-opening to me, because it's definitely helped me conserve energy that I've been putting out in the world and to others, and not necessarily coming out of like a bad place or of just pleasing people, but more so of like I was doing it too much to the point where I'll come home drained and not have enough love or, forgiveness for myself or rest for myself. And so I think it's been tough, but I'm so glad that I've learned what an empath goes through, and the things that you have to kind of avoid or be careful of, because the one thing you don't want to do as an empath is lose yourself in the midst of helping others. And I'm all about nurturing and creating a comforting space for people, and hearing people and listening to people. I'm all about that. And sometimes I have to leave some of that for myself. But at the same time, what this also means is that I've taken it as a big gift and privilege to be able to be so in tune with my emotions. At times I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why am I feeling so much today? Like, you could tell me one issue you're going through, one trial you're going through, and I will think about it like an entire week, worrying about you, thinking about you, praying for you. It's just, I will try to figure out like solutions for you guys. I will try to, think of how I can help. And of course, all of that is sweet. Me saying that to you, you're probably, oh, that's great. And yes, it's coming out of great intention. But, for me, that can definitely hinder me in my own growth, right? So, without getting too deep into it, I've been really proclaiming the word empath, or being a highly sensitive person, as a gift and a superpower, because it's definitely brought me to strong relationships. I have the greatest friends. I've developed the closest relationships with people. I've been able to easily connect with strangers, and I think that's one of the greatest gifts for me, especially in a world that's so fast, in a world that can be super superficial at times, and I'm just glad that it keeps me grounded. Connections with people definitely keep me grounded. And please excuse the noise. There's a school right next to my house. All right, next is this mindfulness sticker sheet. This was also one of my favorites on making, and it was my first time kind of like exploring illustration and doing people. Like, I've been avoiding that. I do a lot of portraits, like realistic portraits, especially throughout high school. So I was really trying to get into the illustration vibe because it doesn't require to be perfect. You know, I've been focused so much on preciseness over the years and it being very alike to whatever. But I wanted to be more creative and feel a sense of freedom and just letting it be how it is. You know, I'm definitely not the best illustrator, but I had fun. Like, they kind of, I guess my style now is more like childlike illustrations, not perfect, a lot of like geometric shapes, no perfect lines. So that's kind of the area that I'm in right now and just having fun with it. But these have like stickers that reflect what I think good mindfulness practices are: stretching, resting, taking a nap, drinking water, going out in nature, learning, you know, all of that. And I also have, take time to heal, the importance of journaling. So all of that is basically everything. If someone were to ask me, like, how am I supposed to be mindful? How do I do that? Like, I can't do yoga. Well, here are some other things. You know, yoga is not the only thing that will lead you to a life of mindfulness. So yeah, it's great. Love it, love it, love it. All right, the next one, I guess I would just add that the mindful versus mindful. I guess I'll put it in that category of mindfulness. This was so fun to make because at times my brain will literally be racing with thoughts, racing with the what ifs, racing with so many things. And the times of, the best times I have with myself is just to let everything go and just take in the moment. And, I find myself, if I overthink, I'll just be overwhelmed. So yeah, take moments out of your day, of your busy schedule, to just breathe, because a healthy life is a mindful life, not a mind full of junk and things that are not real and imaginary and all that. So yes. The next thing is my logo. It is hands with some long sleeves. I thought that was cute because, it reminds me of fall, which is my favorite season ever. And then holding a warm cup of coffee or tea. I think this was the perfect, representation of what my whole brand is. Pause, sip, and ponder. To take moments to sit, have a nice coffee and tea with yourself or with friends. To really get in a moment of just being and observing and evaluating, of reflecting. You get all of that through just sitting down and having a good cup of coffee, and it just brings you back to the little and simplest things in life that you can be grateful for. So hopefully this is what you feel. Hopefully the energy you get from this sticker and this symbolism of warmth, I hope that you're able to feel that with this podcast. That's definitely been a big goal of mine, for sure. And then I have another one. Sorry, I forgot it. 1 second. Actually, I'll start off with reading some of them. I have some things that say, "You are not a burden. You're doing great. You are not alone. The best has yet to come. You are supported. You are loved. You've come a long way. Don't give up now. Your voice matters, and embrace change. You have purpose." So these are the words that I try to affirm myself with every day. I try my best. It may not be every day. Some days I may not even believe it myself, but I always believed in the power of words and how it can transform, it can manifest into great things. And, these are also words that I did not, unfortunately, hear much of growing up, especially in the Asian community, in the Filipino community. We definitely show love through actions, through hard work. And although that is a great side of it, one thing that we can lack on at times, and it's not just pointing out the Asian community, but sometimes we may lack in just affirming people with words. And that's definitely an area that's definitely one of my love languages. And I think I strongly developed that too because I desired that growing up. And unfortunately I didn't really receive that because not much words were spoken in the household. But of course, you grow up, you do run into people that kind of remind you of your worth and remind you of how important you are. And I can think of many people throughout my lifetime that I'm so grateful for. And finding out that, or remembering that your life does have value. I only wanted to just share that with everyone else because I don't want anyone to feel that, to feel lonely, to feel like they're a burden, to feel like, their end has come, or there's nothing ahead of them, So, although this is a very simple sticker sheet, it didn't take much time for me to create artistically. The words definitely did come from my heart. And I'm pretty sure all of these was in a moment where I was super overwhelmed with life. And, I think that was my outlet at the time when creating this. It was my safe zone, or my time to really get back into myself and be like, okay, things are fine. These are words that I'm going to affirm myself. And hopefully throughout, through this trial that I'm experiencing right now, the words that I tell myself now, I know that it will help others in the future. I'll be able to share, my experience with whatever trial I'm going through because, everything happens for a reason, like I said. So again, for those who are watching, those who are listening, don't forget that you are not alone. You are supported. You are loved. You are not a burden. And if you need a reminder every day, go get my stickers. Okay. You don't have to. I'm just kidding. But I guess that's it. That was a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing a little backstory of these products. And if you enjoy them, please go check out my shop. I actually have some new stickers coming up for the fall season. Super excited for that. I'm still kind of in the pending process with the things in this house. Like, we don't have Wi-Fi right now, so I've been just living off of my data. And as soon as we get that, then we can get the ball rolling and do more videos of my Cricut machine and kind of share with you what it's like behind the scenes. So yeah, thank you again for those who have watched or listened this far. Thank you for those who have ordered from my shop, especially those who have been supporting me even prior to launching this shop, because some of you guys may have heard, I'm gonna get to it, and I never get to it. So thank you for those who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Thank you to those who were there and present with me when I was going through imposter syndrome and didn't really know what to think or feel. And thank you to those who were with me in the process. I definitely value you guys. I guess just to close off, for anyone who's interested in starting their own small business, or just starting something of their own, or even just developing a good habit, or to develop a hobby you really want to get into. And again, I'm still in the learning process, and I think every day we're learning, so I cannot say that I'm a professional at life, because I'm not. But I think the best advice I could give is to appreciate the process, to show up for yourself, while at the same time give yourself grace every day, but don't let it become an excuse. Yes, we become tired. Yes, we need to prioritize other things. But if you really envision yourself to be somewhere, to do something, you can and you will create a way to do that, and yeah, just really appreciate the things in your life. Take moments to reflect your own life. I feel like that's how the best art, the best ideas and creativity moments come to life, is when you aren't basing your art or getting inspiration from like Pinterest, or I know it's really cliche, but actually it has to come from the heart. And that's how I developed the products that I have now. And aesthetics can only last for a few days, like trends and everything, but the things that last are the things that create big impact, and that's your story, that's who you are. And I think what definitely helped me in the process, and if you guys are trying to start that process wherever that may be, starting something for your own, have accountability friends. I'm super grateful for the many creative friends that I have, because we all are very honest with ourselves and with each other, saying like, hey man, like I was not consistent this week, like I was really not prioritizing and budgeting my time right, and that will give them the opportunity to help you. That will help you gain new ideas. That will help you gain inspiration by just being honest with one another, because I think we can always try our best to seem well put together and seem like we have everything figured out, but it's not sustainable. Remember, vulnerability is strength, and you're not alone in this. We're all trying to figure it out. Just do it. You will not regret, at least just trying. And I'm nowhere where I want to be in terms of financially with my art and my podcast and all that. But every day, if I take moments to be grateful, I will always find a reason why I should stay or continue, and to keep going with resilience and just to move forward. So I guess that's the best advice. And also set up your schedule for success. If you have to write it down and start simple. If it's too much for you, if a routine you're trying to get into is too much, minimize it, and be realistic. Don't compare your life to other people's lives. 9 times out of 10, the things you see on Instagram, on YouTube, my day-to-day, like my daily life, like what I do on a normal day, and it's just them like being super productive. Yeah, right. There are days where you will be lazy, and that's okay. Go at your own pace. Okay, I think that's it. That was actually a lot. I am fairly surprised of how much I was able to share today, considering it feels like a sauna right now, and I'm super dehydrated. So reminder, drink your water, be kind, love one another, and don't forget to always love, to always be curious, and to always ponder. See you guys.